Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you with Game 4 in this series, Rhthm versus Melancholy, here on Cloud Kingdom. Rhthm spawning as the blue Protoss player here at the 6 o'clock position, Melancholy spawning as the purple Protoss here at not 6 o'clock, this is an 8 o'clock position versus a 2 o'clock position, as Melancholy opting to do a very fast probe scout and perhaps going to give Rhthm a taste of his own medicine, trying to execute cheese. Now, I'm not quite sure if Melancholy does have such a refined palate in order to dish out some cheese, especially of this variety, as we are now going to see the probe just wander around on the inside and try to hide. If Rhthm was very careful, he should have been able to spot this. And now we also see this probe coming in. It will be able to spot the inside and know that something strange is going on as well. Melancholy, a little bit behind in terms of his economy, as he is unable to train up any additional probes. There we finally go. We should be going perhaps into a gateway. Oh, he is now going into a gateway, not going into photon cannons, as a probe now making its way over. So this is a proxy gate here, as we are now going into a standard gateway by Rhthm. Rhthm should have a slightly better economy, as he is not nearly as delayed. The probe is going to be backing off, and we'll see how this will all be followed up. Rhthm sitting at 13/18 supply. Melancholy not too far behind. And Melancholy just wandering around on the inside here. Melancholy needs to be careful with that probe. He cannot afford to lose it, as a Zealot now already being chrono boosted out. So Rhthm getting up that gateway slightly faster. You can see another pylon coming in, making sure that this one gateway does not go unpowered. Chrono boosting out a second Zealot, both sides trying to chrono boost out Zealots, and who will come out ahead? Another chrono boost could come in. Probes now making their way over, and they are going straight for the gateway, not even gonna bother with the pylon. Probes now just attacking at it, and it looks like this Zealot will be popping out in just a second. No additional Zealots coming out though, as the Zealots, they were trying to trap the Zealot, and they were unable to do so, as the one Zealot is out and about. Front door does have a forge and also a pylon, so we could easily start getting some photon cannons here in just a moment. And now Melancholy fighting with probes and a Zealot, but it looks like this one Zealot is gonna get surrounded. Beautiful play by Rhthm, as Rhthm is able to save a low hit point probe, and I believe only one or perhaps at most two workers were killed, or three workers were killed by Melancholy, as this one proxy pylon will get shut down in just a second. Melancholy now trying to make its way over with a new Zealot. The Zealot does get off another kill there, but let's take a look at the total losses. 300 versus 300, and now an unpowered gateway. Melancholy with this gateway down, he could try to warp in a Cybernetics core, but he doesn't really have the resources, and that is what is going to hurt him. He needs to get a gateway, he needs to get a Cybernetics core, he needs to get a pylon, and all three of those things cost minerals, which Melancholy does not really have at this stage. You can see double gas now coming in from Melancholy. I do not agree with that. A new pylon now coming in from Melancholy, and we'll see how much damage can be done. Zealot now making its way out. We are getting double gas coming in from Rhthm as well. I don't know if I agree with that either. There is one photon cannon on the front door, a gateway, and a Cybernetics core now warping in. And it looks as though Melancholy now trying to train up a new Zealot here at this proxy gateway. Zealot now making its way over. Is it going to attempt to take down this pylon? Yes, it is going to be doing exactly that, attempting to take down this pylon. The front door is very well defended, as the Zealot is now going to just run straight inside the mineral line again. Cybernetics core about 3/4 of the way completed. This one pylon looks like it will go down in a couple of seconds. The probes coming over to surround and getting the kill. Beautiful micro by Rhthm, and I don't believe Rhthm has lost some workers, but hasn't really lost all too many. Let's take a look at the harvester count. It is 20 versus 23. Melancholy is slightly ahead, and he is now going into a Twilight Council. And somehow Melancholy is still able to afford this all. A new pylon now warping in here. Melancholy will end up losing this proxy gateway. And now we may perhaps finally see a straight up game between these two players after a rather unusual opening. Rhthm now transitioning into a Stargate. Meanwhile, Melancholy transitioning into a Twilight Council and perhaps even into Dark Templars. We'll see how that will all work out. A proxy pylon could easily be set up in just a couple of seconds. There are Zealots down over here. We are going into Blink, and with Blink now coming in, we'll see how this will all work out for Melancholy. Melancholy down by about 2 supply. We are very much neck and neck at this stage. We are going into a 3-gate with Warp Gate Tech and Blink going into the robotics facility. Melancholy will be severely gas limited, as observers cost a fair amount of gas, as do stalkers, and running off of only 1 base, he's not going to be able to train more than 4 stalkers, or one observer and 3 stalkers at a time. It looks as though this one probe is going to perhaps be trying to set up a proxy pylon somewhere down over here. Yes, it is coming straight into that location, and right now both of these players looking to execute their strategy. Rhthm does have, once again, Phoenixes, and these Phoenixes really didn't do that much damage in Game 1. We'll see if it does do more damage in Game 2. The Stalkers are going to be forced to deal with these Phoenixes, though, as the Phoenixes are just sitting or can easily pick apart some of these probes. It only takes, I believe, 2 shots for a Phoenix to take down a probe with those ion cannons there. We can see that there is already a proxy pylon set up. Will this probe try to do anything funny or strange? And we'll see if it is even able to get up inside the main base, as the probe now sneaking its way inside and perhaps going to set up a proxy pylon back over here. Stalkers now trying to engage up against that one Phoenix. The Phoenix, not realizing that Blink has been completed, quickly gets destroyed as the Stalkers able to catch up there. Meanwhile, this Phoenix still wandering around, and Melancholy now takes the supply advantage, 47 compared to 44, and we are now going into Observers, Immortals, and Twilight Council for Rhthm. The Stalkers of Melancholy are now warping in. More Stalkers are coming in as well. Who is going to have the severe advantage? Melancholy can peel back with those Stalkers, minimizing the damage dealt. Rhthm does have an Immortal, so that one Immortal may be the perhaps the most deciding factor in this game. Melancholy can easily start just shooting up onto the high ground. No reason to blink, and that was a big mistake by Melancholy. Melancholy now being forced to engage when it doesn't really want to. The Immortal is backing off. There is a little bit of a chase there. The Stalkers are trying to blink forward, and I take it back. Melancholy actually in a good position as more and more units are reinforcing. There is one quick Graviton beam there. Stalkers unable to engage from the low ground. Another Stalker does get taken down here. Probes are now coming off the mineral line, and who will come out ahead as the Stalker are trying to neutralize some of the Phoenix is trying to neutralize some of the Stalkers in the game. Rhthm now behind by about 8 supply. We are getting more reinforcements down here at the 6 o'clock position. We could perhaps get even more reinforcements here. And will Melancholy be able to break down this front door? A new Immortal now being added. It needs to be chrono boosted out. The chrono boost will take down 10 seconds on that building time. Here we go. A quick blink, and all of those units do retreat once again. The Sentry, however, rather low on energy, will not be able to force field anymore, as Rhthm is essentially all out of options except for Zealots and Immortals. Zealots and Immortals versus Stalkers, though, that does sound like a very good combination. And we'll see if whether or not Melancholy is able to push up that ramp with the proper number of units. He does have Blink. He can clear this choke point, but once he blinks in, he's not going to have that blink to escape out if he needs to. Immortals and one observer is out in play. There's no observer down here on the low ground. Melancholy now warping in more units once again. Melancholy also setting up his natural expansion and getting up some more buildings once more. This pylon still not doing anything on the map. Zealots, Immortals, Sentries are about to engage, and what is going to be happening, I still can't quite tell. Rhthm now with 65 supply versus Melancholy 70. More and more Stalkers are warping in, and somehow Rhthm keeping up with Melancholy's eventual 2 base. Melancholy wants this game to go long. The longer the game goes, the better it is for him, as he knows that he has an expansion and his opponent doesn't. Immortals are on the low ground. The Stalkers are unable to engage against those Immortals as of yet. we are going into more and more probes over here at the natural expansion. Harvester count 36 compared to 30. Melancholy with a 20% advantage, as now one proxy pylon looks like it may get taken down. One pylon already down. Perhaps more damage could be dealt if they try to engage, but Rhythm with these warp prisms. Oh wait, Rhythm does not want to reveal a warp prism. We'll see what's going to happen here, as the one pylon is going to get destroyed. Here we go, another pylon down, and it looked as though some damage was dealt. Units now backing away, and now the Immortals looking to do a bit of a drop here. Immortals very, very effective, but is it going to accidentally reveal itself or get shot down by these Stalkers? Oh, that would have been a huge, huge play. The Warp Prism now needs to make its way out, and it needs to be careful. Those Stalkers would be able to shoot it down very easily, and now the Immortals are on the low ground. The Immortals now do decide to back off here. The Stalkers are now blinking down, and Rhythm opting to elevator his units down. So by elevating his units down, he is actually able to not get broken up at this choke point here, and now Rhythm is able to establish his own natural expansion. Nice play by Rhythm, as one proxy pylon will get taken down by or from Melancholy. Immortals, 3 Immortals, Stalkers and Zealots now making a big push out. A Stalker able to blink up onto the high ground, but the Stalkers are going to try to continue to chase, unable to do so there. And we'll see what is going to continue to happen, as there are some Stalkers off, separated from the main part of the group. Stalkers now looking to blink forward. There is one Stalker here. That Stalker, oh, able to blink back once again, and now making sure that these destructible rocks fall rather quickly, and wanting to make sure that these rocks are not perhaps a possible choke hazard. As here we go, Stalkers and Zealots trying to push their way forward, but Rhythm charging into a battle where he doesn't really belong. Rhythm should really be blinking back at this point. The Immortals are here. The Colossi now joining in, but the Colossi have extended thermal lance range and able to slice through many of these units, and Rhythm may end up losing this matchup here on Cloud Kingdom. We'll see what's going to continue to happen. Rhythm losing the one warp prism there. Melancholy now with a 30 supply advantage, but there is one observer by Rhythm here to keep track of Melancholy's whereabouts. There is the GG, well played. So it looks as though this series is dead even, and that's all the games I have, folks. So I apologize already. Gosu, Rhythm, and Melancholy both taking 2 games apiece in this 4-game set. Perhaps there are more games that I do not know about, and Rhythm saying the GG, well played. But then again, I hope you guys enjoyed this series, as it's not very often you see a Protoss versus Protoss mirror match go down like this.